30, 40, 50, 100. What do these SPF numbers actually mean? What do they actually tell us about the protection that the sunscreen offers? SPF stands for sun protection factor, and it indicates how much of UVB radiation that particular sunscreen blocks. SPF 15 blocks 93% of UVB radiation, SPF 30 blocks 97% of UVB radiation, SPF 50 blocks 98% of UVB radiation, and SPF 100 blocks 99% of UVB radiation. Another way of looking at these figures would be, since SPF 15 blocks 93% of UVB radiation, that means it actually allows around 7% of UVB radiation to affect our skin. So similarly, SPF 30, since it blocks 97%, it allows 3% of UVB radiation to affect our skin, and SPF 50 allows 2% of UVB radiation to affect our skin, and SPF 100 allows 1% of UVB radiation to affect our skin. In the figures, you can also notice that the most difference in protection comes between SPF 15 and all the other SPF numbers. There isn't much of a difference in protection offered by SPF 30, 50 and 100. The thing with SPF 100 is, though it actually offers slightly higher protection than SPF 30 and 50, the way these sunscreens are formulated, it can actually, the SPF 100 can actually end up irritating our skin, and the irritation that it can cause is actually not worth that slight extra protection that it offers over SPF 30 and SPF 50. Sometimes in shops I see skincare products which has got an SPF of 8 advertised as sunscreens. I roll my eyes internally whenever I see that, because you see, a SPF 8 blocks only around 87.5% UVB radiation. That means it allows around 12.5% of UVB radiation to affect our skin. So why would you use a SPF of 8 which offers so very little protection over a sunscreen which has got a SPF 30 or 50? So just give that SPF 8 a miss. So basically, any sunscreen which has got a SPF of below 30, give that a miss. Or for a sunscreen between 30 and 50, and you're safe, because the protection a sunscreen with a SPF of below 30 would offer is not enough for our skin. Some people falsely assume, and there's a lot of material on the internet as well which says that the number of the SPF denotes how often to reapply the sunscreen. So if we've got a SPF of 50, it means you need to reapply every 50 minutes. SPF of 30 means you have to reapply every 30 minutes. This is actually incorrect. The SPF number tells us how much of UVB radiation the sunscreen blocks. That's all. It doesn't give us any indication of when to reapply a sunscreen. In fact, all sunscreens, irrespective of their SPF numbers, have to be reapplied every 2 hours. This is what is recommended by the medical professionals as well. Once it reaches 2 hours, the effectiveness of the sunscreen gradually reduces, and at a certain point, the sunscreen becomes totally ineffective, and it's as if you have got no sunscreen at all. Another quick note, if you are out and about between 10 and 3 p.m. or if you're sweating profusely, or if you're doing a water activity like swimming, the effectiveness of the sunscreen reduces at a faster pace when one of these things are happening, one of these 3 things are happening than otherwise. As soon as you apply a sunscreen, it doesn't become effective immediately. It takes around 12 to 15 minutes for it to become effective. So if you are going to step out, just remember to apply your sunscreen at least 15 minutes before you step out. I understand all this sounds too much of an effort for a sunscreen, but if you just do it a few times, it will become a habit. And then when you start noticing the effect it has, the positive effect a sunscreen has on your skin, you will actually love this habit. You actually won't start your day unless you have implemented this habit. It will just become a part of it, because you can see the positive effects on your skin almost immediately. SPF number, as I mentioned multiple times in the video, only tells us about the UVB blocking. It doesn't tell us anything about UVA radiation. So sun has 2 different types of radiations, UVA and UVB. Both of them cause skin cancer. Both of them age our skin very rapidly. UVA, in fact, ages our skin much more rapidly than UVB. So when we buy a sunscreen, we need to look for a broad spectrum sunscreen. A broad spectrum sunscreen offers protection against both UVA and against both UVB. But broad spectrum sunscreen alone is not enough, because that doesn't tell us how much of protection it offers against UVA. So for that, you need to look for characters PA and then look for 4 pluses next to PA. 4 pluses indicates that it offers very good high level of protection against UVA. So when you buy a sunscreen, 2 important things: look for the SPF number. It has to be between 30 and 50, so that covers your UVB radiation, and then look for characters PA and 4 pluses next to it, so that covers your UVA radiation. And finally, 2 very quick important points. Because SPF 30 allows 3% of radiation to affect our skin and SPF 50 allows 2% of radiation to affect our skin, there is a lot of material on the internet and a lot of people falsely believe that SPF 50 offers 50% more protection than SPF 30, and the way they arrive at this is based on this calculation here. But that is actually incorrect. That is not how you find out how much extra protection a SPF number offers over another SPF number. To do that, use this formula here, use the calculation that I've shown on the screen here. So based on this correct calculation, you can say that SPF 50 offers 1% higher protection than SPF 30, and SPF 50 offers 5.3, close to 5.3% extra protection than SPF 15. SPF 30 on the other hand offers 4.3% extra protection over SPF 15. And SPF 30 offers close to 11% more protection than SPF 8. Now these numbers are all, might not sometimes, they're all huge, but you might think it's only 4.3, 5.3, 11%, they're not big numbers, but they are. Imagine someone pours hot water on your hand, I hope no one does, but boiling hot water, and then you just increase the heat by an extra 1% or 4% or 11%. The damage that small 4% can do, extra 4% can do on your skin is severe. So that's why opt for a sunscreen which has got a SPF between 30 and 50. And finally, if you're wondering how we arrive at all these percentages of how much UVB radiation is being blocked, 87.5, 93, 98, 100, all that stuff, 99, there's no 100, sorry. How do we do that? There is a formula for that, and this is the formula. So if you're interested in calculating how much of UVB radiation any SPF number blocks, use this formula. That's it. I hope you found the video useful. If you did, please give me a like and do subscribe to my channel. That will really help me a lot, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.